It's your girl, the Midwest gluten-free diva, coming to you live from St. Louis, Missouri again. I wanted to take a moment. I think one of the first few things that I need to concentrate on the blog is just kind of sharing my story with you guys, and so you guys can know where this passion comes from, why I choose to educate and empower people in my community and surrounding communities. I was diagnosed with celiac disease about 5 years ago. Growing up, I was always sickly. I always had stomach issues. I mean, it was bad. I remember my mom would take me to the doctor, and I finally thought we had came to a resolution of what was causing all of my sickness. So I remember that they told me that I had IBS, which stands for irritable bowel syndrome, and then I was also told that I had anemia. And so we just kind of took it for what it was. That's what the doctor said that I had, so that's what I had. I remember my mom used to get really frustrated with me because she would buy expensive medicine and I would take it for a day or two and then I wouldn't feel any different, and so I would stop taking it. And she felt like she was wasting her money, and I get that. But the medicine was for the wrong thing. We come to find out 20 plus years later. Okay, so what happened to make me figure out what was really going on? About 6 years ago, I started getting really, really sick. I mean, I could not digest any food past my upper GI. I would eat, throw up, eat, throw up, eat, throw up. My hair started falling out. And let me just tell you, for anybody watching this video, we have to be careful what we say about people, especially when we don't know. And the reason I say that is because I had a very intimate conversation with someone that is a very important aspect of my life. And this particular person told me that when I was going through my weight loss and my hair was falling out and just going through the emotional and mental strain of trying to figure out what is going on with me, that there were a group of women in a local place, big group of women, having a conversation about me and how I lost the weight that I did. At my biggest, I was 216. At my smallest, I was 120. That is a big drop. But I don't know how people can automatically assume the negative, especially when you don't even know anything about me or my health, nor have you cared to ask me. So that is one of the reasons I wanted to share this as well. The story that I was given was that, oh, we heard Shanice, she wanted to lose weight, and so she went on these pills, and you know, it got too much. She lost too much weight, and so she overdid it. And no, that is not what happened. Anybody that has been in my life during that time, they know the real story. In my 20s, I had 4 colonoscopies and endoscopies trying to figure out what was wrong with me. It wasn't until about 5 years ago when I got the diagnosis, and it wasn't because I overdosed on pills or wanted to lose weight. Now, I feel like I look good. I'm glad I lost the weight, but it was the journey of my weight loss that caused me to want to start this blog. So let's talk about what I went through. There were a couple of signs that let me know that I had celiac, but I didn't know anything about celiac to know that that was a sign. So I'm going to start with some of those. One of the signs was I stopped having a period. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. At one point, I was like 3 or 4 years without a cycle. Being in childbearing age, at the childbearing age, that was kind of concerning to me. But I was kind of excited because, hey, I don't have the pain because I had horrible cramps, nor the expense, so I'm just going to roll with it. Well, funny thing is, it was my womanly doctor who was able to diagnose me with the celiac, and we'll get into that a little later. So about 6 years ago, I started losing weight kind of at a rapid pace. I noticed that my food would not go past my upper GI. So what that meant was I would eat and shortly thereafter I would throw up. It never had a chance to digest. I was having very few bowel movements because my food never made it to the lower GI. That's when they did colonoscopies, endoscopies, trying to see what's going on. You're supposed to get those at 50. As I said, in my 20s and early 30s, I've had 4. They revealed some things, not anything major, but I still was having the issue. When it got to the point of me losing 90 pounds, my mother and my father both said to me, something's wrong. Something's wrong. This isn't normal. In my head, I knew that it wasn't normal, but during that time, I was also a gym teacher. So I was working out. I'm the type of teacher, I'm going to do everything with you. I'm not going to show you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to do it with you. I'm just do it. So in my mind, I lost the weight because I was working out. I wasn't correlating the fact that my food was not going past my upper GI, that something was wrong. Sometimes we as a people can be so scared to go to the doctor and so scared to know what's wrong with us. Stop that. If you're having any symptoms and you don't know what's wrong with you, go get it checked out. Chances are the earlier you find out, the more you can do about it. So, made a promise to my parents that I was going to figure out what was wrong with me. So, I went to my primary care physician and we had some blood work done. 2 of her concerns with that amount of weight loss in that time was possibly cancer and possibly HIV. And I remember talking to her when she said HIV. I said, hold up. I've been celibate for 3 years and I get tested every year. And that's when she wanted to remind me, which I knew, but nobody wants to hear that when they're getting tested. Well, y'all know that HIV can lay dormant in your body for 7 years. I tell you what, that was the longest test results wait. Even though I know I wasn't HIV positive, I didn't know what was wrong with me. The other thing, besides the blood work, is she had me go talk to an oncologist because something was wrong. I remember her saying, we've tested you for over 200 autoimmune diseases, and there were a couple that really stood out to me. Diverticulitis, because I like strawberries and I like stuff with seeds, and I was like, this ain't gonna work. I hope that's not what it is. And then Crohn's disease. I have a sorority sister whose sister has Crohn's disease, and she's been very, very sick. So I was just praying it was not those 2 things, or HIV, of course, or cancer. So my mom and I, we went to go see the oncologist, and he didn't really have a lot to say. I mean, they didn't have any answers. I'm frustrated. My mom's frustrated. My dad's frustrated. My sister, we're all frustrated. Nothing comes back. We don't know what's going on. So, I told you guys that I hadn't had a cycle in a few years. So, I go to a new doctor, new womanly doctor, and I'm telling her all my concerns. I want to say at this time I hadn't had a cycle in maybe 3 or 4 years. And so she's like, okay, we're going to run some tests and see what's going on. Do you want to have kids? I'm like, yeah, I love kids. I want to have kids. So she ran some tests, and she was also able to kind of look at me. My skin, my arms, I had little white, like, I guess you could call them patches, like all over my skin. I didn't know what it was from. I've been told at one time that I had atopic eczema, so maybe that's what it is. She looked at me before she ran any tests, and she asked me some questions. I said, yeah, I've been dealing with that, yeah. She said, I bet you have celiac disease. I said, who? Whose disease? Celiac who? Celiac what? Celiac. I said, okay. Well, my parents had already made me a book on Crohn's disease, diverticulitis, and everything while we were waiting on the results. So I figured while I'm waiting on her to do her test results, I'll research it. Everything I read, I was like, yep, that's it. Here's the weird thing. When I was doing my research, I found out that the majority of the people that are diagnosed with celiac disease, they're diagnosed by their gynecologist. Because a lot of women that have celiac disease have fertility issues. And so that was a wake-up call for me. Test results come back. Find out a lot of stuff. I'll go more into detail on other blogs on some of the things that I found out about me and having celiac disease. But my life changed. My life changed. I was nervous. How am I going to make this change? I've been eating bread and cookies and cakes and pies. Anybody knows me knows I am a dessert girl. I dream about desserts. And now I got to cut them out of my life. Had to make a decision. Do I want to be sick but have my desserts? Or do I want to be happy and healthy and find alternate methods to get my cravings? 90 pounds, hair started falling out. My best friend Bridget knew something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong, but everybody around me knew something was wrong. And she submitted me to be a part of this program that did a free makeover to somebody that always gives back to the community and give them an opportunity to feel and look beautiful. So during this time, I go to the beautician and she looks at me and she's like, you have some type of deficiency. And I'm like, what? You're a beautician. How do you know? She was like, I know because of the way your hair is breaking off. My hair was breaking off like this, going up. So my hair was very long, but it was starting at the bottom and it was breaking in a V. That was one of the ways that she knew I had a deficiency. Stay tuned to learn a little bit more about my story.